G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Bitcoin video. We've seen some preliminary breakdowns on Bitcoin from the critical uptrending line that stems from October 2022. We go ahead and look at that line right now on the screen. You can clearly see it acting as a major support and resistance zone in multiple areas that I'm circling. This has been a line that's, October was just 5 months, almost 6 months ago now. So it's a pretty important uptrending line. And we're just kind of on the brink of breaking down from it right now. And that's kind of the main concern that people are having on Bitcoin as of current. Now, I've been very clear about my opinion on Bitcoin, especially in short term in the last couple of weeks. I do think that Bitcoin needs to see some sort of correction. I think we're seeing a nice little rounding top formation here, a nice little head formation. Generally, when you see something like that, you do see a drop downwards, but I don't think the drop downwards will go down that far. I think at the most, we're looking at a bottom target of around 25.2k, which is the top of the local range we saw since that, actually the larger range we saw since the June drop originally back here in 2022. But there is an argument to be made that even upon a drop below the yellow line, which at this point in time is not confirmed, we've seen many wicks. If we go to the 4-hourly chart, it's a clear double top formation. It honestly could be some sort of diamond pattern formation as well. I don't know if you guys are familiar with formations like that, but the point is the TA isn't very strong here for Bitcoin, unfortunately, in short term. But the main thing I wanted to say was that there is a new support zone, a fresh support zone being built up here at around 26.5k, and that 26.5k support level, I'm going to go ahead and make it pink so you guys can see it. If we flip back to a daily chart, we actually scroll back to where the roots of it were. So let's go ahead and see which one it is. It's this pink line here. It's stemming all the way back, not only from over here in 2022 very briefly, but also if we look really far back here, we can see if the chart's going to load. I don't know what's going on with the internet here. We can see that it's actually stemming all the way back here, still loading, from this one little candle we saw in 2020. Now, some people might say, oh, that's not much, but it is there, okay? It is a present support zone, and the fact that we're finding for support right now is quite interesting. Now, look, I don't particularly think that 26.5k is going to hold. I think this is just a temporary level we're finding, and it's quite rough as well. Look, you could even bring it up to 26.6. It's a temporary level. I think we'll break down below it. This is a pretty clear double top kind of M pattern here. I think Bitcoin will break downwards, but I still want to argue that it might not go all the way down to 25.2. I still want to argue that it could actually find support on something like the 200-week SMA. Now, this is the green moving average on Bitcoin. The 200-week SMA is without a doubt, and there's really no doubt about it, without a doubt, one of the most important moving averages that Bitcoin has ever experienced in its entire lifespan. This thing has been incredibly accurate for targeting Bitcoin bottoms over the course of Bitcoin's history. If we look back and just keep your eye on this green moving average, look at the amount of times this thing's acted as support. It found the bottom in 2015. It found the bottom in 2018. It almost found the bottom during the COVID drop. It almost found it by the candles. And look, yeah, we didn't get it for a perfect bottom here in 2022, 2023. In fact, we predicted it was going to be lost, but it did find itself as support and resistance in multiple regions, and it acted as a rejection zone in multiple regions as well. So it's still an incredibly major kind of level. Yeah, it might not be finding bottoms anymore, but the fact of the matter is this, it's certainly still a major level. It's very important. And I think that the fact that this is edging just over 25.2k now, it's currently sitting at 25.5k, could mean that if you are going to take short positions, if you are going to make a prediction about where Bitcoin will bottom on a local level, you might actually want to go for a bit higher than 25.2. Even though 25.2 is the level we found as the top of this entire range since June 2022, it might be slightly what would you say? I mean, the price might bottom slightly higher as per where the 200-week SMA actually is at 25.5k. And that just all goes to show that, even if Bitcoin does see a correction here, which it's already seeing, by the way, and, there's really no doubt about the fact that the charts are bearish. You look at what we're seeing here, it's an evening star formation. Look at the weekly chart, the last 3 weekly candles form an evening star formation. Evening star formations when you see a very strong bullish candle followed by a bearish doji, followed by a red candle. It's quite clear. And, even the preliminary breakdown, as we're seeing now, it's quite clear Bitcoin is not in a good position. And we probably will break down further. And if we do break down further, I will no longer be targeting 25.2k. Upon looking at the weekly chart and reassessing what's going on with the 200-week SMA, I'll actually be targeting 25.5k instead. That is my new target for the short term. And then from there, we'll probably head upwards, consolidate a little bit, and break out above 28.6K. And of course, 28.6K is ultimately the major level we're looking at on a macro scale. That is the level in which we held. We've spoken about this so much. We held that level throughout the entirety of 2021 and 2022, and even the start of 2020, and we're rejecting from it now. If we break above that level, basically every single bearish argument dies, right? There's not much you can say for the bearish argument if we break above 28.2K. We're already 2 times higher than the bottom. We've already doubled from the bottom. We break above 28.6 as well, which is something that held us up single-handedly for over 2 years. What bearish argument are you really going to make? You know, how many times can you repeat the same, oh, the economy's collapsing talking point before you accept the fact that the charts are telling you what's going on? The charts are the reality. You have to remember, guys, charts reflect fundamentals, okay? Charts aren't just random. TA doesn't just happen, okay? It reflects what's going on in the world. If Bitcoin's going up, okay, that means it's pricing something in. All right, it's as simple as that. And this is why I think that TA will always be, and has always been, 10 times more important to understand than fundamental events and news events. People debate me on that. I'd say to those people, they simply don't understand TA to a high enough extent to have the correct opinion. The correct opinion is it's not an opinion, it's a fact. TA is more important than news. So look, another thing I wanted to look at, and this is going towards the bullish argument on Bitcoin. Now, look, I'm incredibly bullish on Bitcoin in the macro. As I just said, I think Bitcoin's going to break 28.6K. You guys are well aware of that by now. Another update we've had here is that the DXY, as we know, DXY is reverse correlated to Bitcoin. If this thing goes down, Bitcoin goes up. And that's very well reflected, because if we just look at the chart, we look at this is the weekly chart on the DXY, we can see that throughout, basically 2015, we went sideways. That was the bear market for Bitcoin. Throughout 2017, we kind of went downwards on the Bitcoin, on the DXY. That was the bull market for Bitcoin. When we started going upwards, that was the bear market for Bitcoin. When we started going downwards, that was the bull market for Bitcoin again. And when we started going upwards, that was the bear market for Bitcoin again. Notice how every time this goes down, Bitcoin goes up. Every time this goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Okay, it's very straightforward. And even in the recent months, ever since this thing has topped in around October, Bitcoin bottomed in November. It's been going up the entire time this thing's been going down. And guess what? This thing has just broken down from its major pink support line. The pink line you see on the screen there is a very major line for the DXY. We've just broken down from that line, and that's very good for Bitcoin. It shows a lot of macro strength for Bitcoin. And, we'll be monitoring this chart quite closely, but on a macro scale, we do have reason to believe that this will break down further, because the structure in, I'm not sure what's going on with my internet, apologies for this not loading, but you get the general point of it. The structure we're in is a major ascending channel formation, and so eventually this will most likely break to the downside, and that will leave massive room for Bitcoin to have a parabolic rally, which will potentially trigger the next bull run, and, hopefully that breakdown will, kind of amplify in speed as we head after the halving, which is when the bull run is meant to start as per the 4-year cycle theory. So lots of good news coming from DXY, lots of good news coming from Bitcoin. Yeah, short term's a bit rough, but that's expected when you head to a major level that held for support for 2 years, very much expected to reject initially, and especially after such a major run as well. But another thing, we looked at this yesterday, and this is a very complicated chart. I suggest you watch yesterday's video if you want to get a bigger insight on what this chart actually is, but I'll quickly run you through it. Basically, every time we see, as you can see in the RSI down the bottom of the screen here, a green circle, that means we've seen a bullish cross on the RSI between the 14 moving average and the RSI line, and the red circle is a bearish cross, and basically we enter these phases after bullish crosses. We've seen 3 bullish crosses historically in Bitcoin's monthly RSI chart history with the 14 moving average, and on 3 of those occurrences, in the first occurrence, Bitcoin saw a 5,700% gain, the second occurrence, Bitcoin saw a 228% gain, and the third occurrence, Bitcoin saw a 550% gain. We've just seen another cross, and that, if we're going off history, means that Bitcoin will be seeing gains in the 3 figures at least, if not the 4 figures. So excellent stuff across the board for Bitcoin macro. It's really just the short term we need to be concerned about at this point in time. Unfortunately, I can't update you anymore on the short term other than the fact that it's still bearish. I think we all know that. This consolidation and this rounding top structure after seeing such a move to the upside and kind of just barely holding on and kind of losing that yellow line is not good. We'll probably see more downwards price action, but I don't expect it to go too low, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video here, guys. So without further ado, Let's check out a few things before we end the video there. The BitGet exchange is the first of those things. This is the best way you can support the channel by signing up using my referral link to the BitGet exchange. You get a 15% discount on trading fees for life. But other than that, this exchange is better than most other exchanges I've found in the cryptocurrency market, especially for trading. I've been using this exchange as my primary exchange and only exchange for over a year. 5 times lower fees than Binance. We've got copy trading. We've got a protection fund. They've released their reserves. Everything you need is on this exchange. I highly recommend you use it. Again, sign up using my referral link for a 15% discount on trading fees for life. Go ahead and do that. And then, of course, Crypto Academy. You want to learn how to trade? This is the place to do it. All the information is on the website. This basically teaches you how to trade from taking you to, from a beginner level. Basically, you can know basically nothing about cryptocurrency, and you can come out of this course after about 40 to 50 hours of work, and you can know how to trade. Essentially, that's what it teaches you. That's why the name is called Become a Trader. So check out that course. All the information in the description. And then finally, guys, the VIP group. It is currently the 28th of March in Australia, 29th of March. It just flicked over, actually, it's 12 a.m. And in 3 or 4 days, we will be releasing the results for Q1, which is January, February, March for the VIP group, the results for the trades. You can stay tuned using the link in the description. You can find the VIP group information group with the results and everything posted. You can find the Q4 results, and you can keep an eye out for the Q1 results. If you're interested in the VIP group, you can either wait for those results. You can sign up now. It's $100 USD for 3 months, and I'm keen to see you in there. I've got 106 members, and you guys can become one of them, make some money in altcoins with me in there on Telegram. So thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.